It's streaming. It's starting to stream live, and as soon as it goes on, I'm going to turn off the sound on mine because it on my Facebook. Here we go. We are live. There we go. We are live on Facebook today for Skills Not Pills, and I'm so excited today to bring with you Sarah Anne Dordel, who is the founder of the Conscious Business Chamber of Commerce out of San Diego, right? So welcome, thanks for being with us today.
Aw, thank you so much for having me. It's always so fun to talk to you. It's like I feel like I've known you forever.
I know, isn't that funny? Like so many of us feel like we've known each other forever. Why? I wonder why that is.
I wonder. And it's like it's so relevant for us to be coming together and talking about these things because we recognize each other and it's just like a whole new awareness. It's like a whole new tribe is stepping forward on the front lines. We've always been there, but now we know who we are and we're gonna rock it.
We're going to rock this world.
We're gonna
So,
rock
here's a really interesting thing is that you are the founder of the Conscious Business Chamber of Commerce. So first, tell us a little bit about what that means. What are the kinds of businesses that you help support? What's the kind of work that you do through that organization?
Yeah, so the Conscious Business Chamber of Commerce is an upgrade to a network that I built here in San Diego called the Conscious Business Network. I decided to upgrade the network so that we could take what we created in San Diego to other cities across the country and hopefully beyond. But basically, I support any business that is heart-centered. Good people doing good things is basically what I say, and anybody qualifies. Anybody qualifies. So, yeah, that's what we're up to. And it's really about helping people to be visible, get seen and get heard, because that's a huge challenge right now, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You have to be very crafty in order to get seen and get heard. And that's what I really support. Education, getting together to mastermind and discuss and strategize about how we can be more effective, really creating a hub so that not just entrepreneurs, but also organizations, nonprofits, anybody who's like-minded can come to this place so that we can get information more efficiently. Because what happens is, right, there's a lot of good people doing good things, but there's so much noise out there. And unless we can kind of collect in one place, we're not going to be really that effective, I feel. And so that's what we're hoping to help through the chamber.
That's so great. What a great expression. Here's the thing I've noticed as being someone who is an alternative healer, who is involved in alternative healing modalities that aren't like, they're certified, by the organizations that teach them, and they're actually qualified as continuing education units, for traditional pathways,
Right.
but when people think about healthcare, what they traditionally think about is, oh, my medical doctor or my traditionally trained psychotherapist, my traditionally trained psychiatrist, my traditionally trained person. And when, and they put their faith in these institutions, that are out there.
Right.
And those institutions, I don't know that people really realize, but those institutions actually are created from one primary foundation, which is, underlying the whole system.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm just going to call it out, which is the pharmaceutical industry. The
Call it
pharmaceutical industry trains and trains the people that are in the AMA, and trains the people that are in, the psychiatry, all the schools of psychiatry, that they're involved intricately in the training of these professionals. And for what? To what end? To
out.
teach them how to prescribe, right? And
So they can
diagnose.
deliver what doesn't work and just perpetuates illness so that they can make money. And this is why having a hub where everybody can find each other is so powerful because, I think there's a lot of people out there who are trying to legislate and be activists and all that good stuff. You got to like go under the radar and create change by just doing things and kind of ignoring the establishment. And the Conscious Business Chamber is here to empower those people because you have to be good at business in order to play the game, right? Like holistic healthcare providers, I support a lot of them. But if they can't be seen or heard or connected to the people that really need their services, they're screwed.
Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
working against them.
Yeah, and really everything is already sort of in the system, in the domestic. I like to think in terms of domestication because that's my training, as the Toltec path of domestic, realizing that our minds have been domesticated by our families, by the beliefs of our society, by our educational institution, by the programming on television, that all of this, creates a framework of belief in your mind.
Mhm.
And until you visit another country, or until you get to know people that have vastly different beliefs than yours, until you expose yourself to other systems of belief, you can start to think, well, this is just the way life is. This is just how it is, and this is the right way. But when you start to learn and meet other people and other systems of thought, you start to realize, oh, wow, there's like 8 billion ways to live on the planet, because that's how many people there are on this planet.
Yes.
And you start to realize, like, I can choose what I believe. And it wasn't until I learned that path and I started down that path that I actually found my own healing, because I became the puzzle solver of my own puzzle. I didn't put my puzzle anymore in someone else's hands and say, here's my puzzle, figure it out for me. Tell me what to do.
You are an indico. I mean, this is the path. This is the path of the indie empath, is that we learn that we create the solutions. We go inside and we solve things. And it's important to have this awareness about, who the indie empath is, and people like you and me, because you will go through these initiations where you start to awaken. And you start to awaken and activate others. That's what we're doing. We're activating through this conversation. But it will be thrown at you. You are wrong. You're crazy. Who do you think you are? What, anti-establishment? And it'll be like so scary. But it is our path to step into knowing that we hold the truth. We hold the keys of truth. And once you realize that and who you are, and that most of your health issues are because you are so sensitive and empathic, game over. And the awareness is the healing.
Yeah, that is so true. I have definitely experienced this in my life. I did the recommended path. I did the whole, like, go to psychotherapy, because that's what they say, right? You have to go to talk therapy. You've got to sit there and you got to talk about it every single week, and,
Regurgitate your
and
pain.
regurgitate the pain, like every week, about how bad, and just repeat the story over and over and over and over again. And here's the frustrating part. That doesn't work, actually. That doesn't is
It works
taking
for the people who get paid.
Well, it creates a steady income stream, but I don't think that's what those psychiatrists and those psychologists, well, I don't know about psychiatrists. I don't think that's what the psychologists actually want to do, or the social workers that are out there doing this work.
No.
They came in because they wanted to help.
Sure.
And then they entered a framework that's the established framework that said, this is how you help. You make people talk about it every week and get really emotional and upset and spin the story, because that's perfect. You do that. And then you diagnose them, you look at them and you figure out what box does this person belong in. And then you put them in the box, you close the lid and you say, here's your support group and here's your medication.
Yeah.
And, and you wonder why people, go to psychotherapy for 30 years.
Well, right. It's a cycle that never ends. And if anything, it oftentimes gets more painful. And I like that you brought up the fact that I think most healthcare providers have good intentions. You just don't know until you know. And I think you and I both had the experience of, we finally got into therapy with, I think that I can't remember, but my spiritual teacher is actually my psychologist. I had a very intense spiritual awakening, and wow, what a miracle. I happen to be guided to a psychologist who's also a shaman and, deals with helping me through, the whole awakening experience and all the paranormal, scary stuff that goes with it. So it's like, there's a lot of people working under the radar, and I think it's fabulous.
And I want to say, with psychotherapy degrees.
Uh-huh.
They have their traditional client and they do it the way that they're supposed to do it that doesn't work. And then they go, by the way, this system doesn't actually work,
Yeah.
but I'll do this with you if you want. I can't classify it the same way, but I'll do this thing with you over here, and this actually does work. And
Well,
that's what's going on in the industry. If you think that's not happening,
well,
guess
and
what?
this is very important. I'm here to empower people who are aware and doing things a different way. The thing is that it's great to be holistic. It's great to be conscious. But if you're too woo-woo, you're not relatable. If you're just an activist going out there and trying to change the world and just stuffing your woo-woo garbage down people's throats, it's not going to change anybody.
No,
And
it
this is
doesn't.
what I've experienced is we need very relatable, credentialed, professional people who are actually out there talking and spreading the knowledge in a very what's the word that I'm looking for? Gentle way, because you don't have to be a bully about spirituality or consciousness or any of that. So the Conscious Business Chamber, I really think of all of the members as like renegades. We're out there doing really good work. We're very driven. We're very purposeful. But, we're not going to be pushed around. I'm trying to watch my language because I'm always one to like naughty words. We're very mission driven, but we're aware and we're heart centered, and we know how to play the game, and we empower one another so that we can be better players.
Well, I think what you're trying to say is that the teacher doesn't appear until the student's ready.
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of students out there that are not ready for this message. And this message provokes them into self-judgment and bad feelings. And if that's you, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, say, I'm sorry this is a rude awakening. I truly am. I apologize, but this is the message I was given to bring. And why was I given to bring this message? Because I'm the perfect candidate. I don't have anything to lose. I don't have psychotherapy credentials that they can invalidate me with, like say, well, I'm going to revoke your license. Okay. So
well, you're also credentialed, Kerri, because you lived it. And Indicos and Indie Empaths are stepping forward right now in their power because they've lived the experience and now they can teach it.
Well, thank you for saying that, because one of the exercises I actually did, because this has been a huge part for me, right, is to step in and say, well, yeah, okay, like this person who commented earlier on the Skills Not Pills page saying, well, you don't have a PhD and you're leading this movement, so I don't believe you. Okay. So in order to believe somebody, you've now decided that that person has to have a PhD. And I think a lot of people think this way. So I want to call this out. That's a false notion. There are plenty of people out in business, and my dad was one of them. My dad didn't even have a college degree. He had no college degree, and yet he was one of the high executives at Dell Corporation, at Dell Computer. My dad. He was the guy that they sent in, the graybeard that they sent in to, basically decipher all the things that were going on in the manufacturing chain between the idea the design guys had and the actual implementation. And my dad was that key piece that went in, no college degree, but he was a genius level. He was actually Mensa level. He tested out positive for that. He's the guy they sent in to do this work. So, if you're putting your faith in a label, if you're putting your faith in any label of any kind, you should really start to question that, because that right there is a domestication. So there's no that is another kind of pill. The Skills Not Pills is not just about pharmaceuticals. It's about a mentality.
Right.
Where we just want to set it and forget it, and I can trust this because it says PhD, or I can trust this because it says I'm officially recognized by some school that is AMA. No, that may not be true. Not all doctors are created equal.
Well, and the planet is in for a rude awakening. I mean, you can see what's coming. There's like little snippets being dropped in the news of things that have been hidden from us. And it's really important that people understand that the truth is inside, and
you can find that truth.
Yeah, you just have to believe in yourself and know that you don't have to get your truth from other people. So, yeah, I mean, I've talked to my parents about this. If I had kids right now, I would not send them to college. I think everything you learn in college is malarkey. And it's by the time you graduate and, now it's like so crazy expensive. You come out with debt and everything that you've learned is outdated and a bunch of nonsense. It's a
Yeah.
fun experience.
Well,
Right?
it can be a
Pretty
fun
fun.
experience depending on what you make of it. But
Sure.
I think the point is that, we need to really become our own creators, stand firmly in our own truth and realize that, your journey is unique. It's a thumbprint. There's no other person like you with that thumbprint. There's one thumbprint per person, and there's one life journey for you, and you're the puzzle solver. And so all we're doing with Skills Not Pills is saying, open up the box on what you think might be a solution. Open up your thinking and step into the driver's seat and really become curious and question things. And that's what we do when we have people that are involved. Everybody, I'm sure that everybody in your conscious business chamber of commerce, they have a conscious business because they stay conscious, because they're actively engaged in the process of making choices for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the only requirement for membership is that you are aware. You're aware that your actions affect everybody around you and the planet. It's just all about being a good person and being committed to being a good person and not perfect, by the way.
Yeah,
Because,
messy humans welcome.
right? I mean, I stand for the imperfect path, and I believe, Kerri, that people turn to pills because they know that they are all knowing, but it's like the whole world is just a nightmare when you have that knowing. Um, Once you find people that will help you to stay committed to your own awareness and empowerment, then the pills fall away. There's nothing wrong with pills, like
It's a temporary solution.
take it when you need it. I'm not
Yeah.
completely off of prescription medication. I have a neurological issue that, by the way, doctors, they can't figure it out. Our bodies are evolving in ways that we can't even understand right now. And if you can find relief in something, I do not judge it, but just know that, there's so much more than what your doctor prescribes that you can turn to, and mainly turn inward and turn to your peeps, turn to your peeps. And
Yeah, find your community.
you're really bringing together what I would consider to be the ultimate game-changing tribe. I mean, good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah, game changing. Yeah, I love it. Well, what excites me about it is every single conversation I've had with these experts, and you guys will hear them because they're pre-recorded, but you'll hear these wonderful dialogues that we've had on the summit when you sign up. It's May 1st through 30th. And so every day you're going to receive another email with more insights. And as I've recorded them all, I'll get to be the first beneficiary. It's so interesting, the common thread, from the PhD that's worked with clients for 30 years through the system and realized, wow, there's a lot of things missing from my training. I needed to go out and get more information, all the way through the person who went on the personal journey and found their own way through certifications and modalities to find the healing. There's a common thread, and
Yes.
it's amazing to see the common thread emerge.
Yeah. I remember when we did our recording, it was so trippy because I was echoing all of the things that were in your mind and it had come up in previous interviews. I mean, we're all drinking from the same water, the same, source fountain. And yeah, it's really empowering and really fun. It's great just to, with all of this negativity out there, it's just good to know that something amazing is happening,
Something
right?
incredible is happening, and it's the group consciousness. It's this group consciousness that we're stepping into where we actually are tapped in, tuned in, and people are waking up to that reality. They're all kind of like, wow, I think this is the way it is. Is that accurate? And it's like, yep, here we are. We're all waking up together. And because of that, we step out of these like modalities of suffering and into modalities where like there's this really deep healing and transformation that can occur, and you can be liberated into really co-creating your life in a beautiful way. And that's what we're about for this every single expert that I've interviewed for this series is saying the same thing. We can create our own joy, our own happiness, and it's our attention.
Mhm.
It's what we choose to focus on and where we choose to open up to invite these people in. And there's amazing people like you, Sarah. I mean, it's incredible what you're doing in the world to highlight conscious businesses and give them the support that they need to flourish in a system that basically ignores and disowns them.
Yeah, and I think one of the keys is for us to honor the fact that not everything is perfect. Not everyone is perfect. Like I said, I really stand for the imperfect path. And once you can be in community where people are just real, real about their challenges, real about what they've gone through, real about what they're going through, then stuff happens that's really, really good. And I believe that there are so many people who are, actually being forced into entrepreneurship because they have a very sacred message to share. But the thing is that they need to learn not to be scared and to know, again, you don't need a PhD to create amazing change in the world. But if you can acknowledge what you've gone through in your life, especially the yucky stuff, like the gnarly stuff, you can know that that's what you're meant to teach.
Absolutely. There is this, I know what I was going to bring up before is that there's this really powerful exercise I did last week. I was at a retreat for thought leaders, to help you become strong in your message and knowing who you are. And because I was one of those people, I have an Ivy League education from my college education, my basic education. And then I did all kinds of trainings here and there. And I learned this and I learned that. And I got certified, and all these like little things, right? So I've been studying, but I hadn't really ever sat down and went through like my training and tallied it up. That is such a powerful exercise, especially for anybody who doesn't have formal education, to sit down and just tally up like your education. What money did your company invest in you? What trainings did you have from those companies? What investment did you place in yourself? What retreats did you go to? What certifications have you done? And even like psychotherapy. People, I was in psychotherapy sessions for 25 years, weekly psychotherapy sessions. That is more than the trained psychotherapist does to get their degree. Okay. Like I'm trained probably 20 years over what a traditional psychotherapist is trained to do through my own experience. Okay.
Well, I must have a PhD.
You have a PhD. I'm going to get one at some point, just like given to me. I've already seen it. I'm going to get an honorary PhD program. But here's the thing. It's like when I started tallying all of that up, I was like, wow. And I put a dollar value to it. There's been over $1 million invested in my education over the last 30 years of my life. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing about the tribe that we're bringing together, the Empaths, the Indicos. We've had crazy life experience. We've had a very circuitous.
You're talking my language.
Yeah. Well, what has happened is, and you and I, we talked about this in our interview. Indicos are basically energy transmuters. So we're meant to like spread far and wide and do a lot of activating and cleaning up. And so it may seem like our life has been very scattered or we've had a really restless spirit, but there is a purpose to that. And so to come to the point where you are right now and look back on your life, where you've been, who you've interacted with, all of the life lessons that you have learned, especially through the trauma, knowing that you've gone through it so that you can teach from it, you realize how valuable and precious you are and your life has been. It hasn't been for nothing, and it hasn't been schizophrenic without reason.
Yeah, because you had to be in all those places. You've had to put your energy in certain places. And this is just something that intuitively you start to realize, like I needed to move to this city, or I needed to move to that city, or I needed to be involved with this group, or I found myself involved with this other group, or I found myself flying to this sacred location, or, whatever that is. Like right. You start to put it together. It's like I needed to be physically in all of those places so that my body could be resonating with the energy of that. And so, so that I could be part of the healing and the understanding of all these different components of society that I'm meant to work with. And so yes. I think that's beautiful. And I think it's really important to honor that. And if you're one of those people that, has had this tremendous life experience where, you just know because you did it, like you lived it. Mm-hmm. And you're having this feeling of doubt, like you're called to teach, you're called to step out, but you're having this feeling of doubt because of all this domestication around, well, if you don't have a PhD, then we're not going to listen to you. If you have that kind of thing going on, it's really good to sit down and do that exercise. Just go from the earliest you can remember and just write down all the training and all the experiences and everything that you've had and put a dollar value to it and tally it up.
I always say only you can teach that which you have mastered in your life. And by mastery, I don't mean that you've done it well, but you've done it. I would invite the audience to imagine that the shiz hits the fan and all of the financial systems break down and the government systems break down and it's pure chaos. And suddenly people don't have jobs. There's just no structure to anything anymore. What do you have to offer? And that's when your life experience and the resilience that you have gained from everything that you've gone through is going to become more valuable than you can ever imagine, because that's going to be the new currency.
That is so true. That's the new currency.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The people that have gone through, just so much trauma in their life and just, over and over getting banged over the head with just one thing after another, where you're just like, I can't continue to do this, but you continue to get up and get out there. I know, my guidance has shown me that it's all been training. It's all been training, and it's going to come in very useful very soon.
Yes, it is. And you guys can feel the truth of that statement in your body. And whether you resist it or not, it is so.
Resist it.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go, people. So, definitely I welcome you all to come to the Skills Not Pills Summit. It's going to be May 1st through 30th, and you can participate in it simply by signing up at skills.pillsmovement.com. And by doing that, you'll be put on the email list that will receive all of the interviews from our series, from all of our experts, along with all of their goodies that they're giving away, all their good, yummy stuff. And, we're also working on strategic marketing relationships with some awesome products. So that also will be coming your way. And, I'll let you know as soon as I've got that all dialed in, but expect that there'll be some goodies coming your way that's really yummy. And so sign up at the website, and again, it's skills.pillsmovement.com. And tell your friends about this. Share it out with anybody that you feel in your heart is open, because we really only want to share the message with people who, like I said, that this teacher doesn't appear until the student is ready. And so somebody that's super stuck and convicted of their opinion is probably not going to receive a lot of value from this. So you want to kind of just reach out to people who are either already in the space, already saying yes to this, or people who are really ready at that teetering spot. Like they're like, I feel like I need something new. I don't know what that is. Awesome. Here you go with this. So that's who we really want to reach out to. We don't want to push this in the face of anybody who's really going to be, super triggered by it. Do you think that's pretty accurate, Sarah?
Yeah, we trigger people enough.
Yeah.
No need to make it any more painful.
No, we don't need to make it any more painful. And our intent is really not to make this painful. I mean, our intent is to bring love, but I don't know about you, but I found that, the biggest moments of love and joy in my life have usually come after going through an intense period of letting go and releasing and going, facing some shadow and some difficult things. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those movements. This movement is one of those things that's going to be very difficult for some people to receive. And for other people, they're going to be like, right on. I'm so glad you're finally saying it. Yeah. So, just be conscious that, this could potentially be a very polarizing thing. And that is not our intent, that we don't want to create polarization. And if it happens, well, we apologize in advance.
You're so polite. I love your civility.
Yeah, I'm very civil. So this is all about creating more love in the world and more responsible humans that can make this world a better place, so that we can really step in and be good earth keepers. And that's the whole point of doing this work. Become good earth keepers. We've got a beautiful planet, and she deserves our love.
Yeah, and everybody has the right to share their message. I mean, everybody has the right to share their own unique message, and the truth shall set you free. And that's what we're doing.
We're setting the truth free. Okay, well, thank you so much for being part of this this live today. And I know you guys are really excited to hear more about the Indico and the Indie Empath. If that was resonating with you as like, ooh, that sounds like me, then sign up at skillsnotpillsmovement.com, and you'll be getting Sarah's full recorded interview in May along with her goodies.
I can't wait.
I know. Okay. Thank you so much, Sarah. It was such a blessing to see you. And I'm going to end the broadcast now. And I look forward to seeing all of you on Skills Not Pills.
Well,
Bye,
thank you.
everybody.